recap video is for all of my fellow peers, other leaders out there that have the privilege of leading and mentoring, especially young officers, and the opportunity and blessing that we have for mentoring those young officers. This particular video was inspired, or I got inspired to do this video based on doing some quarterly counseling today with the personnel within our staff at the squadron. And we have a young staff, a lot of units, young staff. You know, you've got some second lieutenants, you may have even some first lieutenants who are doing captain's jobs, doing great things, and are hungry. And that's the word that I want to embrace and talk about as leaders, those personnel who are hungry. Many times we look at young officers, we look at a young staff and think of it as a full disadvantage. You know, you may not see the possibilities and see the positives of having that young staff. There's nothing wrong with a young officer for a couple reasons, besides the obvious of having them for a longer time and being able to groom them. But a lot of times they're hungry, they're sponges. And what you're doing right now, pouring into them, is going to affect them throughout their career. I'll never forget myself as a young butter bar joining the 53rd BSTB when it first stood up down in 2007. And there were a lot of officers and senior NCOs that poured into me that I still remember their words. I still remember the effects they've had on me. Individuals like Lieutenant Colonel Rosser, individuals like Command Sergeant Major Zach, folks that I still serve with to this day and have the honor of serving with, Command Sergeant Major McGar, folks that poured into me in many walks of life. And then of course my supervisors. You know, I had my first battalion commander was the previous tag at the time, Lieutenant Colonel Calhoun, and him pouring into me. Major Butler, a lot of folks that poured into me and truly put me on the right path and helped me get to where I'm at. And so I say all that to say that for us to, as leaders, to always look at the positives of having those young officers, those young leaders, because what you're doing right now, the things that you're teaching them, the time and the effort that you put into them right now, that is going to pay dividends within their career. And they want to know and see that we really care about their career and care about their work and their career path and where they're going to be taken. So they're hungry, they're sponges, and they're going to soak in everything that you have for them. So if you have a young staff, if you have a bunch of young personnel, young officers and leaders under you, you know, see it as a blessing, see it as a positive, because you have the ability to shape the future of an entire organization. And you know, never see it as a negative, because with that hunger, with that sponge-like mentality, you know, you can really help them groom into being great leaders in the future. So see it as a positive.